Bronco, can you address the Taysom Hill situation?
Yeah, Taysom got hurt third to the last play in our game against Utah State. He received a pretty clear signal from the sideline like this, which means the clock is going. He interpreted that meaning run the play. Took his eyes away. Victory was signaled in right after that. Got hurt. So miscommunication, and I'm responsible for anything that happens when one of our guys gets hurt. So that's what happened.
How long is he going to be out for the remainder?
Yeah, remainder of the year.
What's the actual injury?
Good question. You can talk to Jeff about that. Multiple injuries. There's a ligament that's damaged. There's a hamstring that's damaged. So you can talk to Jeff. He took a helmet right on the knee on the last play.
Were you trying to kill the play before it happened? Were you thinking?
Oh yeah. It was the victory signal went in as soon as his eyes went away. Everyone was yelling victory, 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 but he didn't hear it. And so again, the signal was like this, which means the clock is running, which is good. He interpreted that meaning run the play, and right after that, the victory signal went in. So it's really unfortunate. Cleaner communication on our part needs to be done, so it's easier on him. It's not his fault. It's our fault.
Is Riley ready to start?
Riley's ready.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about the blackout and how you're feeling about that this week?
I'm excited about it. I think the players are, and hopefully the fans are. I'm sure some are hesitant because considering it breaking tradition. Hopefully they'll just come and enjoy a great football game against a really good opponent.
So Bronco, were you trying to call timeout then?
We were actually just trying to say victory, victory, and thought he would look over at least one more time, but he took his eyes away and never looked back. And victory came maybe a second after that signal, and so yeah, it's really unfortunate, but it's our fault as coaches and not communicating clearly enough.
Is this an injury he can come back from
Sure.
next year then?
Sure.
Spring ball back for that?
Not sure. So again, you can get with Jeff. All the prognosis and how long it will take is a little bit new to me, and rather than be pinned down, I'm not quite sure. But hopefully for spring.
Riley take all the reps today in practice, or did James get some?
No, Riley took them all, and that'll be the case most likely all week. He was close to being ready a week ago. So if there is a silver lining, the injuries just happened to one's going out and others coming back, and so. But I hate to see. He took a hard hit right at the end, but again, Riley's feeling much better.
Is Riley back 100%?
Hard to say. I didn't watch him today. I was with the defense, so I'll see him through the week. But it was close to, and I thought it was really close last week, so I would assume by the time we get to Saturday it will be.
Did you think you had dodged a bullet in post game, or were you actually suspicious that he might actually be really hurt the way you'd seen it happen on the field?
Well, I didn't think he was hurt at all. I didn't get a call or a text till Sunday midday, so it was news to me. I didn't think there was any issue.
Did he know he was hurt?
He did, but it wasn't. He didn't know the significance of it. He just thought it was hurt, and so MRI was either whatever day we played was the next day. So I think maybe that's when I found out Saturday midday that he was hurt.
It looked like you might have been running toward the head linesman to maybe try and call timeout right before the snap.
Once I saw him not look back, and not even though the coaches were frantically yelling victory, and I was trying to do anything to get to that point. So yeah.
If Riley cannot go,
James.
and talk about him.
James is a really good player, and he's very persistent and dedicated, and just waiting his chance. He's a good player.
Do you have Alex back playing quarterback this week?
We don't. Nope. Jason Munz is after him.
You were of one school of thought relative to quarterback risk with mobile quarterbacks, and then you kind of came around to a different style. Does this give you pause?
Sure. Yeah, and anytime, it's not a sustainable model, especially when a quarterback carries it 19 times in a game, especially when our quarterbacks run as hard as they do and aren't really avoiding contact. They're trying to get every yard possible. So either the carries lessen or we become more risk averse at the end of sliding and dodging contact, etc. But it's hard to sustain the model when those kind of hits are being, and it could have happened the first play, it could have happened the last play.
Bronco, how do you assess the overall health of your team at this point, halfway through the year?
Man, I think it's pretty good. I'm encouraged overall. There's always a couple key injuries here and there, but I like where we are right now, so I think we're handling it okay.
Do you think that the emphasis during fall camp to remain healthy made a big difference as far as that goes?
I would love to think that. I think ultimately the end of the season will tell us that, but right now I think so.
Do you expect any guys like Mike Haig or Adam Hine back?
Mike was running around pretty well today, which I liked. I'm not sure whether they're expecting him for this one or for Notre Dame, but the way I saw him today, he could be this week. Adam still seems to have a ways to go, and so again, the best thing to do with that one is talk to Jeff specifically. I'm just kind of waiting for the testing to say he's ready to go, and what's holding him up, I'm not sure.
What kind of conversation did you have with Taysom post-prognosis?
Well, I just had it today. Actually, it was about 3 minutes is all, and he'd just come back from the doctor getting a second opinion just to make sure everything was exactly what we thought with the significance of the injury, then timing of the surgery, and then I told him exactly how I was going to address you guys because I feel responsible for it, and I think he didn't know what to think about that because he just thought it was an unfortunate thing, but it's news, and so I let him know what I was going to say, and I think that made him feel good.
Did you see when the surgery was?
Possibly this week or early next week.
Bronco, the church obviously changed the age for missions. Can you talk about how that affects
Yeah.
BYU? And
It affects us more than any other program in the world. We have the most missionaries on our team. We have the most return missionaries on our team. We'll continue to have that at an institution owned by the church, which is 98.5% LDS. So we actually had taken a guess a year ago and kind of put a plan in place. And so now we'll just kind of revisit that, make sure it's on track, and then have to make some really unique decisions for 2 years in transitioning. And hopefully the parents and young men will work with us, and we'll certainly work with them in terms of their desire to serve and when they serve, and then hopefully field a team as that transition is going with scholarship numbers, etc. So a ton of work ahead on that.
Have any commits or recruits already reached out? Will change your mission plans or talk to you about
Not yet. And that process will be ongoing here starting. Probably we'll have another staff meeting maybe Thursday at the end of this week, and then each recruit will be called and we'll have a plan in place exactly for them, and then we'll listen to what their wishes are. That will then reassess our numbers, what it will do to this recruiting class, which could alter. Then we'll have to hit the road again to maybe fill certain needs of kids that are changing, then anticipate when they're coming back, look at scholarship needs and availability when they come back, how that will affect the next class, etc. So we were 3 years out. Now that model basically is no longer accurate. So again, we're midstream, but at least we have a year's worth of work in place just for contingencies.
Once you get through that 1 or 2 year transition process with the new eligibility, what's your thought overall of people being able to leave at 18?
I like it. I think that there isn't a huge maturity level between a year. It gives them a chance to have a clean start right from high school to go out on their mission, and then uninterrupted play when they come back if they're ready and they want to. And so it'll just take us a while to get to that point organizationally, but we support the decision 100%, and now it's our job just to make it all work in relation to football.
What were your PAT plans going to be if Taysom had stayed healthy, and what are they right now?
Justin Sorensen will receive all the kicks this week, and we'll put increased emphasis on volume, on places the ball is kicked from, on how it's held, on how it's protected, maybe triple the number of snaps and try to improve it.
All placement kicks or just PATs you're talking
All
about?
placement kicks.
So Riley will just be punting from now on? Okay.
We talked about your quarterbacks. Now Oregon State, Sean Mannion out. The fallout defensively from that.
I've only learned about it maybe an hour before we came out to practice. So who knows what the fallout is. You have a good offensive system in place that's very consistent from year to year. How that will be tailored all of a sudden to a new quarterback, I'm not certain. We'll prepare for what we know and then adjust to what we don't know or what we see on game day. So that's really the best we can do.
Was it kind of a somber group this morning when you got together as a staff, knowing all that had gone down over the weekend with Taysom? I mean, at a staff meeting, that kind of thing?
Not necessarily. Not to make light of it or anything. There's just so much work to do that it's really where you have to balance the needs of the one, and I have to care for him at the very highest level, and I also have to balance the needs of 122 others and a game coming up and etc. So you just have to learn to compartmentalize and have all those things going at the same time.
You talked about headset communications, and will they need to change discernibly going forward? Or
the biggest issue was just the communication. We have specific coaching responsibilities, and a specific coach has exactly when victory can come in, and he was maybe 1 second or 2 seconds late on saying it clearly. So then Coach Doman, even though he didn't signal play, was saying this, but 1 or 2 seconds could have saved everything, and that's what we have to work toward, and that's what the standard I have to hold our staff to and be responsible for.
Thanks. Can you describe kind of what you were doing personally when the word came down the pipe that the mission age was 18 now?
Good question. was watching it, so that ought to be a plus. And then right from there, I was thinking, okay, now this, and hard to concentrate on the rest of the talks for a while. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.